bringing up the children together. Then you don't have time much to think about yourself, you see. And what does a child wants? It doesn't has to be only one parent. It has to be from both of them, the mother and the father equally. Then it has to be a successful marriage. Well, let's move on to Pamela. Pamela, would you like to share with us what is it all about, like how to be about a single parent?
I can say two words. One is, or a phrase rather, one is continued strength, and the other one is support. A continued strength, we need to have the continued strength. We need our me time because it's only one person doing two persons' job sometimes. So we need to have our time to retract, go take a break. It's okay to be a single parent and go and take naps and breaks and go and see your friends. There's nothing wrong. Who is society? A lot of times we look at it, society, you see, like Akshata said, a fine example. I've also come through that. People told me bluntly, oh, you're single, fine, no need to get married. Then I was like thinking, two things. That person got married, I shouldn't get married. Another thing is that who stops me from my happiness? But the thing is, we should have the time to actually go and see our friends, go and have coffee, go and make new friends. You know, we need to have that strength because it's not easy. You see, especially when you have two small children, or how many, especially when children are growing up. They each stage they have a different expectation of us, and we are actually taking care of them. Support is a support from society, from surrounding. That's one thing, but we also need to go and seek for support. So like for myself, for the longest time, I know that when people hear about churches, in the Catholic Church you can only get married once, and there are a lot of variations to that, and there are a lot of single parents who in the church were thinking that we are not wanted. But actually, no, I used to think that also. But I joined another lady who's a single mother herself, and we started a single parents group. And we are there continually giving support for these ladies and men who come forward to say, I need support. And with that support, some of them, when the first time we meet them, they're breaking down and crying, and they're going through divorce, or they feel very sad that the marriage, which they, in the church is supposed to be for a lifetime, also they are reiterating it everywhere. But the thing is, like when they feel that, it feels a lot of pain. So don't stop yourself from asking for support also. There's nothing wrong in going and asking for support. And society should understand that there are parents who did not ask for that situation to happen. Some of us are just, I needed the support. I'm the people, like I told you, who gave me the support were my late ex-in-laws, two beautiful people who were by my side always. Every time they think about my children, they'll call me, they'll ask me. I used to get calls from my father-in-law, and now my sister-in-laws check on me. My nieces, through my marriage, they check on me. We're always included. So the thing is, we are included because we have a common entity, which is the children, you see. So that is very, very important. And I asked for support also. I went out and asked for support from various agencies like SINDA, and through the church there was family camps. So I asked, as a single parent, can I come for the camp? And they said, sure. And when I went there, I saw there are different types of single parents there, widowed, and like myself, divorced. So I was thinking I was the only one who was going through it at first. But when I went there, I realized that there were others like me. And soon I also continued to give the support to other parents who were facing the same situation as me. So this I think it's very, very important. It's not our choice, but the thing is, because we face the situation, I hope that society will not judge us. It's not that we purposely went and landed into a situation like that. Just so happens that way. Thanks.
And that would be, why does the marriage break Is it a third party intervention? Is the mother, is it in-laws, or is it a friends, or is it a extramarital affair, or what could be the reason, and how can we prevent it? And do you think if you were to go back to the past, what is a thing that you would like to change and that could save your marriage?
I think this is a good session. I think we've covered a lot. And yes, thank you, Aarti, again for bringing us to here, and we can share what is our differences, our similarities, and for the public to see how they can move and ways they can move forward. I hope it's been helpful to them, and I look forward to the next one.
You were sharing there were about 100 fathers, single father. When you shared with me this story, the truth, and I'm really thank to you. We will discuss on this issue as well, on this 100 single father that you were talking about, maybe on our next episode. So please do share. So let's open the eyes, let them know what's happening with the men as well. It's not only women who are being abused, but equally men as well. So we need to work out together. Yeah. So, Mr. Janak, I'll see you again for the next. And let's now move to Akshata. You have anything to say?
I think it was a great discussion, Aarti, and it's so glad to know each one of us here. And it's really inspiring, to listen to the stories and the journey. It's really inspirational. Thank you for bringing these energies together, and hopefully, even if we are able to help one other person in a similar situation, I think it's worth it.
When the child doesn't get the right of the property, or no,
I'll be happy to share the legal journey and the rights and entitlements that the child is subject to and is entitled to. I'll be happy to share certain perspectives on it, which perhaps may help somebody else in similar situation. I'll be glad to do that.
Lovely. Thank you, Akshita. Hi, Pamela. Would you like to discuss, say something before we leave and come back again next episode?
I really enjoyed hearing the points of views of everyone. When I found out that there are single fathers in a group together, I know that there are single fathers, but I'm very happy that there is a support group for fathers. So I really enjoyed hearing everyone's point of views. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for the invitation again, and I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of this talk show, and I look forward to the next episode. Just to echo a few things. Yeah, I'm also a member of that fathers group, and because one of the things that going back to what Pamela and the mothers were saying about support, one of the things I quickly discovered when I needed some support and when I was started on this sort of single parenting journey was that there's very little support for fathers. So all of the organizations that you hear of, they're all set up, I'm afraid to say, for single mothers, and I've tried contacting them in some cases, and but there's very little out there to support single fathers, and I eventually found that group, which has provided some helpful support. Yeah, but as I said as well, that doesn't have to just be for fathers, but it's I think that there's a hope within the group that it will be a little bit more open access to everyone in terms of support, which doesn't seem to be the case for all the organizations that support such people in Singapore at the moment. And then there are just one thing as well on the support, for fathers, there are some different challenges. For instance, I have my son half the week, and my son goes to an international school, but he's Singaporean, and he's got dual nationality, and it's kind of a natural thing, maybe particularly in an international school, that the mothers tend to organize most of the events and organize, have a high involvement in a lot of the associations that support the school events and stuff. And as a father, and actually particularly one who was more involved with stuff prior to the divorce breakdown, it gets quite hard to stay connected to that, because there are you know, that there is a sort of feeling, because nobody really knows why the divorce happened, you know, and as a group of mothers to a father, sometimes it feels like that dynamic can be quite difficult, you know. So it can be quite hard for, I think, for a single father to be more, to feel accepted, you know, in such a situation, if I'm making sense.
Yeah.